This is Andrew Canter, CIO of Futuregrowth Asset Management. Welcome to 2021 and welcome back to work. We wanted to share some of our thoughts on the environment we find ourselves in and our plans for the coming months. Collectively, we all face uncertainty, and in many ways, our anchors have become unmoored. Global investment markets have professional investors scratching our heads. Bitcoin, Tesla, the S&P 500 have us debating the definitional difference between manias and bubbles. In either case, it's a warning sign. With prices being driven by very low interest rates, we are all, in effect, bond investors now. I'll do a separate video exploring that topic. COVID's unpredictable impacts are sowing fear, while death and disease stalk our world, and we don't even have the normal tools to deal with fear and mourning. We've lost personal engagement, community support, and hugs. In this sense, the fabric that binds us together is being torn. Further, some of our long-held core beliefs are being challenged. Global political behavior has called into question the very essence of democracy and fairness. Extremism has become normalized and may not go away quietly. We must each question whether our supposedly independent thoughts are our own or are planted by the algorithms that feed us. And all of this raises questions about what is truth, what is reality. Scarily, but thankfully, we've woken up to the damage humans have already done to the environment and the dire consequences of continued ecosystem degradation and unabated carbon emissions. David Attenborough's book and documentary, A Life on This Planet, is alarming, as it irrefutably demonstrates the speed and scale of the damage we've done. Global changes that normally happen over thousands and thousands of years have accelerated to occur in less than one man's lifetime. Now that's quite a laundry list of despair, but in each of these areas there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Vaccines are being rolled out, and we can look forward to some protection for the most vulnerable in society, as well as ultimately gaining some herd immunity from actual infections and from vaccines. A recession that was overdue is now done. And assuming the vaccine scenario holds, and given the depth of this recession, a good economic bounce is almost inevitable. Thankfully, the United States has rejected its own worst sentiments and seems ready to stabilize its own affairs and start playing a productive role in the world again. The emergence of cost-effective alternative energy can mitigate carbon emissions if we're able to rebuild our power, industrial, and transport systems, and frankly, overcome the political obstacle to those changes. As for the questions of truth, reality, and manipulation, well, knowledge and awareness are a good but not sufficient first step. At least we know what to look for. And we've all gained more perspective on work-life balance and life's priorities in the past year. Now, whether this is good for economic productivity and whether it lasts remain an open question, but I think it does make us better people. Another year of COVID will certainly cement the positive and radical shifts that are long overdue. Remote working, a paperless office, less business travel, these are all ideas that have bounced around unfulfilled for 20 years. As for future growth in 2021 and beyond, well, for several years in the face of government delays, we've deterred clients from making larger allocations to developmental assets. But a new focus by government on project preparation, as well as the dire need for economic pump priming, job creation, and efficiency, points strongly to a renewed focus on infrastructure investment, notably in the power sector and crucially with private sector finance, which is our realm. In addition, we see opportunities in SMME finance, private equity, venture capital, and various technology-driven opportunities. The world is in effect rewiring, and that creates investment opportunities. All of that in addition to opportunities in South Africa's nominal and real rate debt, both seeming to offer relatively high real yields to long-term investors. So 2021 does have rich investment opportunities. Always a believer in transformation, we expect that during 2021, Futuregrowth will make notable strides in both our internal and external transformation, and we look forward to sharing that with you. Further, we'll be focusing on expanding our impact reporting with much more attention to the UN's 17 SDGs, and particularly detailed work into climate policy, carbon emissions, transformation, gender lens reporting, biodiversity, and other areas. Operationally, I'm pleased to say Futuregrowth has appointed a new head of business development, as well as a new head of the listed credit team, both joining in the first quarter of 2021. Further, we've already appointed a head of client relationship management and buttressed that area. So we'll be making additional hires in various areas, notably dealing, credit, business development, and in our middle office and risk management. All members of the Futuregrowth team and our business partners have suffered losses amongst our friends and family the past year. And I reach out to you all with condolences. But I particularly want to pay tribute to Nazli Bardeen, fund manager, dealer, and colleague of over 20 years, whom we lost to cancer at the end of 2020. This was an additional blow to us, and we mourn her. I'd like to invite you to feel free to reach out to the Futuregrowth team at any time during the coming year. I want to thank you for your time and say we look forward to working with you to serve our investors over the coming tumultuous year. Thank you.